Hey there, happy holidays. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and an upcoming Christmas and whatever holiday you celebrate this time of year. I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of LYN Realty in Houston, and welcome to Smarter Real Estate, weekly on Wednesdays. This is my series, Building My Dream Home, and it's starting to feel a little bit more like home sweet home. There's been a lot of progress just since our last video. Take a look at the side where the fence is starting to go up. There's an 8-foot fence here, and on the other side is essentially what's called the ugly side, where you see more of the posts and the woodwork. But on our side, you see the nice boards, and it's really starting to take shape and frame out. The side here, of course, there's going to be a fence on the other side of the house, as well as along the backyard, but they haven't gotten to that quite yet. I do want to mention, as we are entering the home, to show you the stage it's at right now, that this is not recommended footwear for a construction site. But you know what? Today, it's really not muddy. It's dry. I'm very familiar with this construction site by now and which boards I can step on and all of that. And I know what to look out for. And so I didn't feel like changing my shoes today because I need to go to something right after I shoot this video. So I thought, you know what? Let's just get this done in sandals and my nice coral, whatever summery toenail polish. Anyway, as we come in, you can see that we have sheetrock. It is taped and floated, and the texture and paint, will come next. But before that, the built-in cabinets are going to be put in. So I'm going to take you inside, and today is just going to be a tour of the home as it is sheetrocked, which is a big step in actually showing you what the rooms actually look like. Because before the sheetrock process, you just see frame and you're not really sure, how bright each room is going to be, how enclosed it's going to feel and whatnot, because there's no sheetrock yet. So I'm actually going to go running to the front of the house, and we're going to start there and work our way back. So it feels like you're a guest actually coming over to visit, because the entrance we just took would be how we would be coming home through the garage and into the mudroom. Okay, so if you step here, we still have temporary stairs, but if you imagine the stairs are centered and they flare out just a little bit, they have a nice safe railing, not like this, that would be the finished product, but we're not there just yet. Of course, we still have several more months of building to go, but welcome. Here is the front of the home. I don't like scaling those stairs because there is no railing and it just feels really high, like it just drops off. So I like to come up the garage, and that's how I started this video, and that's why. All right, so we have the foyer, and you can see right now this big, nice, open 2-story entrance. Now, one thing I want to point to is look at the top there where the railing is. There's actually supposed to be railing. As you can see, those wood boards are still there. It's just not finished out yet. That's why it looks like that. It's not going to be a wall or a sheetrock. It's going to be nice and open. But other than that, this is kind of, how it's going to feel. I'll walk you into the study, and these are going to be double French doors with glass. You can see right in here. We'll have this whole wall with built-ins, shelves on top, and then cabinets and or drawers, depending on where, at the bottom. There's actually going to be a little window seat here, so then I can just kind of imagine if I'm sitting down like this. And, my husband likes to read books, so he'll be sitting here and, doing a little this, having a coffee in one hand, a book in another, right? And then here, big window at the front, letting in lots of natural light. You can tell right now, because there's no electricity that's on in this home, that this is how bright it's going to be, even when the lights are off during the daytime. The closet here. So we've actually met with the carpenter to discuss where the built-ins are going to go in each closet in each room. Now, I'm not going to go into that in a lot of detail because you don't see the built-in, so it's kind of hard to get you to really imagine, but I do want to point out a couple of things in that when you see walls just like this, sometimes you don't realize what's actually possible and what's not possible or not a good idea in terms of built-in. So I want to point that out. So for example, when you come in, you might think, oh, I can do built-ins all around. I can do shelves, just, tons of built-ins. Well, if you do built-ins here and they stick out a couple feet, that's going to stick out to the middle of your doorway. So then how are you going to walk in without crashing into it? So that doesn't work. You really can't have anything along this wall, at least not right in front of this door. So on this side, again, if you do built-ins and they're deep enough, you're not going to have enough space to pass in between the sets of shelves. So you have to know what is possible. And I think what we ended up with is built-ins like along here and here. And am I right? We don't have anything on this wall, but we can have stuff over here. I think it's just this wall, in fact, right? Because it has to stick out some. So there's really no room to put anything here. And then same thing on this side, no space. All right. So those are the types of details that when you are working with the carpenter on or whatever contractor, you actually need to look at those things, and he's going to be able to help you with that and what is possible. Now, I will say though that, we have what everyone's saying is a great carpenter. If you are with someone who's not as experienced, they may say, oh, we can put built-ins here, put built-ins there. I've been in houses before where it's very awkward, where you end up with this like strange shelf or something in the corner, or you're opening something and it's hitting something else. And so it doesn't always work out great. So use your own brain, use some of these techniques and strategies that I'm teaching you. Don't just, go with whatever the contractor tells you to go with, thinking that that's going to be the best way. All right, so here we have the opening to the dining room. And now you can really see how everything is taking shape. Again, a very bright space. I'm loving it. And look at our coffered, AKA egg crate, AKA box beam ceiling. Exactly how we envision it to be. And I think it's the right width and size of each of these boxes and the number of beams. As you can see, you've got a border around the entire perimeter, and we have two lines, like a tic-tac-toe grid, going each way. So two lines going east-west, two lines going north-south, and it's just perfect. There are styles of coffered ceilings or egg crate ceilings where it really looks much more like an egg crate, where there's lots of little squares. So you could do like twice as much, but we just thought that would look too busy. This can be found in a more traditional style home, and our home is a more transitional modern style. And so to achieve that, we thought, you know what, it can't be these big beams going down, because we're not doing sort of like a rustic or farmhouse look or whatever. We want something that's a little bit more sleek, so the beams don't come down that far. They're only a couple inches in height, and they are spread out. So we have larger boxes, all right? And so right in the middle there, we're gonna have a nice, fun chandelier that's hanging down. We've already started narrowing down our lighting selection, so we'll be able to show you that in a future video. All right, so let's pass through here. This is the butler's pantry and wet bar. So butler's pantry being on this side and the wet bar over on this side. And you can see how this area is shaping up to be. This is the serving window, and we're gonna have countertop material coming in like this. We might do a waterfall with that. That's a new development. Originally, we were just gonna do a tile backsplash, but in walking through with our carpenter and building supervisor and also the designer, we're like, well, maybe we'll try that. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much countertop material we have left over, because we definitely do not want to pay for an expensive extra slab just to try to achieve a waterfall in this, specific area. Okay, and then big, nice opening to lead into the kitchen area. And as I've mentioned to you guys in past videos, there's going to be an 11-foot wide island, 11 feet going from, somewhere around here to all the way over something like right here. And then a lot of, appliances and cabinetry along the back wall here, with the breakfast in the back. Again, nice and bright because there's lots of windows. As it turns out, this window ended up being larger than what was planned. I think it was maybe like an accident or something. And so we're actually going to have the countertop right at the same level as the windowsill. So it's just going to come right out nice and smooth and seamless. And that's a really nice elevated look that you don't find except for in, higher end homes. And it's just a nice touch that, again, we didn't plan on. So thank you very much, builder or drafter, for making that mistake, or supervisor or whatnot. Okay, entering the pantry, you can see how much darker it is in rooms where there are no windows. Obviously, you don't have a window in the pantry. Some pantries do, but not this one. It's not really conducive to that. And if you added a window, you would lose, storage space. So that doesn't work so well. Okay, let's come over here. This is our family room or living room. And so you can see now with the sheetrock just how it's going to feel. Still feels very open. One thing we were just a tad nervous about, even though we have a lot of experience in terms of floor plan design and knowing how things feel, is that you just never know until the walls go up. It's like, is it going to feel closed off anywhere? Are you going to have a wall that's jutting out in a weird way that you don't like? And so we're thankful and relieved that that's not the case. Here, and also on the other side, is where we're going to have floating shelves, probably about 3 of them, and then plus built-in cabinetry underneath. You've got the fireplace right here in the middle. And then I can also take you over to where we began, which is in the little alcove here. Again, another little relaxation or reading nook or something. And then the mudroom this way. So we worked also on the number of, built-ins and the arrangement of the cubbies and the hooks and everything, and the bench on this side, and then all the shoe shelf built-ins on this side, and of course coming into this big storage closet. I've mentioned this before, but it's good to mention again now in case you didn't see my previous video. 36 inches is, I don't know, maybe somewhere like around here. And actually, I think oh, that's interesting. The carpenter had marked it off, but I think they kind of did some of the white texture and whatnot over it. So I don't know, maybe I'm just not seeing where he wrote it somewhere else, but I thought he wrote somewhere on here that it needs to be 36 inches high because we wanted to put larger decorations, for example, like a big Christmas tree or other things underneath that are a little bit higher. So that's another key thing, because your carpenter might say, we're going to start at 20 inches above the floor, which is, somewhere around here. But you actually have larger items, so you want to bring it up to say like 36 inches. So that's something you have to communicate with your carpenter about if you're building a new house or doing any remodeling. And then, the spacing in between for ours is about 14 inches. It just depends, right, on what level of home you're building, higher end versus lower end. They can really vary. And then the depths of the shelves too. He tends to do a standard of, I think it was about 14 inches or 16 inches, maybe 16 inches. So again, yes, it can be very specific. So you want to communicate well to your contractor. I guess you can just take a peek out here. It's still a bit of a mess, but the outside, is the outdoor summer kitchen. And then I wanted to point out here is when this was such an important piece of our design when we were doing the floor plan literally a year ago, is making sure that the way the stairs would come up would actually work nicely. And here we have just a little bit of a diagonal piece jutting out here that's not obtrusive or anything, because the first iteration of the drawing kind of brought it out straight, and we thought it would feel like, oh my God, there's just something like right over our head. I feel like I'm getting dust in my eye from being in here, but this doesn't feel bad at all. There is so much extra space above my head. I'm not tall, but even if you're a foot taller than me, there's still plenty of space, so it feels great. All right, here's another small nook, and I'll just direct you in there because it's, not super bright, but that is the powder room. Actually, I probably could step in and give a perspective on size now that I think about it, but yes, this is gonna be dark because there's no window that's right around this area. And so we'll make sure we have enough lighting for people who want to come in and take a look at themselves in the mirror and use the John. All right, let's come up back toward the front. It looks funny because this door is like my size. It leads into the under the stairs storage closet. And so with it being sheetrock, you can really see now the exact size of this closet. It's not as big as I was envisioning it, but it's still a good size. We can put some things in here and make use of it, and hang, some coats as well near the doorway. All right, so let's head upstairs now that we've finished looking at the downstairs. I'll walk you around up there. As I'm going upstairs, I do want to mention that if you haven't been following this series, Building My Dream Home, you'll want to rewind and go all the way back to spring of 2021, right before we close on the purchase of this lot. And I take you through, there's so many videos, like dozens and dozens of videos about every single step along the way, so that you can really learn about the process and how it all has come together. All right, so I'm gonna take you through this wing, which is basically our son's little suite down this hall to his bedroom. We'll end in the master bedroom or the primary bedroom suite last. Okay, so he has a really nice bright room, nice big window there with two more in the front. And then you can see the closet here. Again, as it turned out, once we, came in, the way the drafter drew it, it made it seem like, oh, we could have lots of hanging rod space and built-ins. But once you actually come in with the carpenter and you see what's possible, you don't have as much as you thought you would have. We can stuff some built-ins, shelves in there. But here, really, you just have one rod like this going across. So it's going to be like one half is going to be the, I think we decided, I forgot which half is which, but one side is going to be the long hangs and the other side is going to be the short hangs. I think in here it's actually the other way around. Short hang meaning one rod up here and one down below. So you can do like shirts and tops and then shorts and bottoms down here. Long hang meaning like, full length for, in a girl's case, long dress, or like for a guy, a trench coat or something like that, or pants. And then there's really no room for anything else here, because once the shelf and the rod jut out, plus the actual clothing comes out a little bit farther, potentially like 10 more inches out. Well, you need to be able to stand here and access this stuff. And so there's no room to put anything on the side in this room, in this closet. Okay, let's swing over here. This is the bathroom in between his room and his playroom. And so if you look in here, we have the bathtub already installed. And then of course you can see this perma-based cement board going around. This is protecting, I don't know why I touched that. Oh, it's okay. I just felt like it was a little moist. And it's going to be protecting your walls and preventing moisture from getting back there through the grout of the tile or along the sides, especially if the caulking starts wearing off, and around the tub, for example. That's going to protect from moisture. Moisture can be one of the most damaging things and troublesome things for a home. Okay, so you see vanity 1, vanity 2 in these two areas here. And now we've entered another secondary bedroom, which is probably going to be our son's playroom. He's got one closet here, which will have your usual rods and probably no room for any shelves to be built in, but the shelves will be built in this linen closet right here. And then here is the bedroom itself. All right. And again, you can see nice big window up front, another one on the side, makes for a nice bright bedroom. Okay, so let's go through here. Now we can really see how this balcony is shaping up. Really nice wide space where, again, he can park up here and hang out, or probably more likely push his cars, which he loves to do. And that is why we added this curb. We mentioned this curb in my last video when I was downstairs looking up. It's actually kind of scary to get too close to there because there's no railing to protect. But now you can see it from this side. So it's high enough where if he has cars and he's just racing them back and forth, they're not going to go flying over the edge. So they're going to hit the curb. There's going to be a kind of piece of wood that's going to be on top that will finish it off. We'll have a matching piece across there at that railing and going along the side of the staircase, which will be the same style as what's going to go on the handrail along the stairs for the full length of it as well. And that this balcony connects to what's going to be our guest suite. So again, another bright bedroom with a large window and a side window. So you notice that the amount of windows is pretty similar in each room. You either have a couple of smalls and a medium or something, or a large and a smaller window. So really gives a lot of nice light. And then this one also, you have the closet here, walk-in. This one will have space for both hanging rod space and built-in shelves. Okay, let us get toward the finish, this back half of the home. This is the bathroom for this bedroom. It's for the guests. So there will be a door here and you'll be able to come to the bathroom, shower in there. And actually I should step forward and show that the shower seat, I'm not going to step in because I don't know what's wet and what's not, but there's a shower seat right here. So if you want to come through, you can actually see them having built that. And they've also put in this cement board along the sides. You have the vanity here and the toilet spot right over here. And of course, people who are coming as guests and they're spending time upstairs, they can come and use this bathroom too, because there's going to be another door right here that they can come from, for example, the game room area. But before we head there, let's check out this area here. So this is the laundry room where you will have the washer dryer, and then we're going to have a countertop, sink, and cabinets below. One thing we realized once it was built that, you know what, we could use a little more cabinet space. We just had the lower cabinets, and then we had a shelf up here with the hanging rod. Well, it doesn't really work to put a cabinet above that because it's way too high. So we're actually going to add a cabinet right here on this wall to the left of this window. And then this will be open so we can have ironing board placed here and whatever else we can think of. All right. This is a nice big storage closet right here that's in the hallway, off the hallway, and close to the game room, so things can be stored there. And the AV closet here, no space for any sort of built-ins here because there's going to be a rack, which is basically like a big metal, black thing, like a stand that will have the equipment on different shelves for all the audio-visual entertainment stuff. And here is the game room. So you can see the ceiling's vaulted up. I don't even know what the exact measurement is. I think it goes up to about 13 feet or so. And then you can see the sheetrock beam going across where there will be a ceiling fan right in the middle where that little light fixture housing is there. But yes, a nice big space for lots of exercising. And the one thing that was so important to me is to make sure that this diagonal was extremely long so I can do a big ballet combination across I'm not going to do that for you right now because I'm not dressed appropriately. I'm also out of shape because I haven't had a room like this to practice in recently, but it'll get better once we move into this home. All right, so this is going to be double doors leading to the primary suite, and this is where we will finish off the grand finale. Similar to the game room, we have a really high ceiling that's vaulted up to about 13 or so feet with a nice beam going across, and we have 4 big bright windows. So again, feeling really bright in here because we have no light right now except for natural light. And actually, I forgot to mention, there's really hardly any sun. It's very cloudy outside right now. So the level of brightness that's in this home is really nice, despite even the weather and the cloud cover that we have going on. Double doors will lead you into the master bath or the primary bath. We'll stop into the closet first. This thing is huge, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it's dark, there's no windows, but it's a really large closet. So if you look on this side, you see how big and expansive this space is? So Saqib says that Saqib's my husband, that I can have this whole side, okay? But that's it, because he says he wants this side. Which actually, I wanted to show it in that order because it's almost comical. I don't know how much perspective is really obvious in this video as you're watching it. But this compared to that size seems very small, but it's actually, if you imagine this to be just like a normal closet for somebody's bedroom, it's a pretty large closet. So yeah, it's totally fine. And he's really happy with it as long as I do not infringe or encroach upon his closet. Not even one hanger, he says. Gosh, it's just so harsh and ridiculous. Okay, so the bathroom, we have his vanity on this side, tub, freestanding, the shower, and then her vanity, as in my vanity, on the other side. So the shower, you can see the seat already, and again, the cement board built in. The drain is still not in the exact right place. They put certain things in certain places, and then they're going to actually correct some of these things later. Most of the corrections that we've asked for are already done because they needed to be done in order to move on to the next step, for example, from framing to sheetrock. But some of these things can still be adjusted after the fact for various reasons. They haven't done them yet, so they will get those done. All right, so in here, we're going to have built-in cabinets, boom, up on this wall, plus another cabinet above the toilet, a nice Toto bidet right in there. All right, so that is the end of our video. And if you thought that it was interesting, helpful, entertaining, whatever, gave you some sort of benefit, even maybe just brighten your day, I don't know. I try to accomplish all of those things if I can, or any of them. Then I hope you will like and then also subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And as you come out here, we can really kind of take a glance and see the perspective of the home with all the sheetrock up. And if only that railing was open right now so we can just see what it looks like, but it's okay. In a future video, it will be open and we can see that. So I thank you so much for watching. And you know what? We're going to keep taking you through this home, okay? Because the next steps are going to be those built-ins are going to go up in all the closets and the pantry and the mudroom, like I've walked through and mentioned to you today. So we're going to be able to see all of that. And then countertops and cabinets are going to start going in, actually in the other order, cabinets first, then countertops. And of course, all of your interior fixtures, the lights, the plumbing, the hardware on the doors themselves, of course, have to go in before the hardware can go in. And did I mention plumbing? Yes. And so all of that stuff. And of course, the paint is going to come in as well. And yeah, we just have maybe a couple more categories of selections to make before we're finally done with selections, which has been a grueling process, but fun at the same time. And then, we can really watch the remaining installations happen. And of course, landscaping outside and oh my gosh, how can we forget the driveway and the concrete there, and plus the walkway leading up to the front door. So lots more to come in terms of installations and several more months of this process to come. So thanks so much. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time on Smarter Real Estate, where I arm you with practical strategies to be a smarter buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, and also take you along on my real estate and home building adventures. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.